Hey, what's up guys, John here. Student loan forgiveness is now officially canceled.
Nearly 40 million Americans will not see their student loans canceled.
Biden has scrapped new plans to cancel student loans for more than 38 million Americans, as his administration will likely be unable to approve relief before Donald Trump takes office in January.
Tens of millions of Americans are devastated over this. So what if I were to tell you that's just a small drop in the bucket compared to the real story of what's really unfolding in America and what's going to be coming next? I'm talking 2025. Things are about to get out of control in this country, and it's up to all of us to plan and prepare accordingly.
Rents for a two-bed detached home increased about 43% in Phoenix. They're up 44% in Tampa and 35% in Atlanta. That's compared to 24% nationwide.
Real GDP grew at 1%. That is the worst since, if you take out, the worst since the 1990 recession.
What do I mean by this? Let's take a look at this student loan situation. Student loans are one of the biggest assets owned by the federal government. 38% of federal assets are these student loans.
$1.6 trillion. That's, a significant fraction of our $20 trillion GDP.
Many people think that student loans are a liability for the government. No. Once the American signs on the dotted line, these then become loans that are then sold on the open market. They look at how long this payment is, who the borrower is, the type of loan, and then they're able to sell it. So when you start to look at kind of how this whole inequality, inequity conversation kind of ties into that, then you'll kind of see the big picture. It's the rich get richer is what's coming. Washington Post, New York Times, Fox News, CNN, a lot of these outlets have been talking about inequality, inequity. The Washington Post is owned by Jeff Bezos, one of America's richest men.
Founder of Amazon.com, Jeff Bezos is buying the Washington Post and other newspapers for a whopping $250 million.
The New York Times, owned by Carlos Slim, one of Mexico's most successful, wealthiest billionaires.
The Mexican multi-billionaire Carlos Slim has become the main stockholder of the New York Times.
Then you have Fox News, Rupert Murdoch, and then Ted Turner, CNN, all multi-billionaires. Why would they, on their own publications, talk about combating inequality and inequity when they're purebred capitalists? Well, it's because they make money in it, right? So when you start to look at the big picture, everything comes down to money. The next couple years, the federal government, they're in so much debt.
End of July 2023, when the debt was about $300 billion less.
And as the job market starts to fade and tax receivables begin to continue to go down, because that's what happens in recessions, they have less cash to collect. Well, what are they going to do? They're going to print more and more money and find ways to increase taxes. And the only ones that benefit from that are going to be those business owners, entrepreneurs, and those with rental income, and those with tax deductions that can navigate and pivot through the system. Nothing will be more valuable in the coming year or two than a great attorney, a great tax attorney, a great legal team, and a great business where you can just deploy the assets the cash that you're earning from these businesses into hard, real assets.
Look what I found in my pocket. Look, a year's salary right here. What I call them? Fun coupons. See that?
Now, I'm walking up here to look at a property for a client of singlefamilyinvestors.com. This neighborhood, these are nice, quaint neighborhoods. Look at this house. This is a $150,000 neighborhood. This house up here off market, we get that, let's just say, for a lot less. And it could possibly be a great opportunity. But this is what it's all gonna come down to, making the sacrifices, going out there, realizing that, look, a couple of years ago, remember 100 grand was a lot of money? At least it felt like it. Now 100 grand is like 50. In the future, as the government continues to print more and more money, $1 million, which sounds like a lot of money today, will probably feel like 250 grand, 300 grand in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. It's just gonna continue losing value. So the only thing that matters is realizing that you need to invest, you need to make a lot of money, you need to plan, because the government's not gonna come save you. Not at all. They're just gonna save themselves. Now, when you look at New York City, for example, New York City, Governor Hochul says that, look, we need to issue stimulus checks. We need to help the people to combat inequality. If you make less than $150,000, we're going to send you $300. I don't really know what $300 does for anybody anymore, but we're going to send you $300. And if you're a joint filer, we will send you $500. Gavin Newsom, he said, we're not going back to normal until we combat inequity. We need to combat inequality. He just bought a $9 million house. Damn! That's his version of combating inequality and combating inequity. He could have easily bought a small little bungalow or a condo with security for 800 grand, 700 grand, and donated the other 8.2, 8.3 million to a charity of his choosing to combat that. But it doesn't come down to that. It comes down to distracting the 99%, the 95% with a bunch of stories that don't matter, and the top 5% are just accumulating all the assets. That's basically the story. And like, look at these homes. These are going to be the assets they acquire. Why? Because in an affordability crisis, these properties, these $150,000 houses are what people can actually afford. That's why. And when people are downsizing all over America, when retirees thought, hey, I got 300 grand, I can make it through retirement in 2018, 2019. Now I'm looking at 300 grand like, maybe I make it 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. I'm not making it 20, I'm not making it 30 years with that money. No. Where are they gonna go? They're gonna relocate. Where are the hedge funds going? Where are the big corporations going to invest? They're gonna go here. They're gonna acquire market share. They're gonna increase rents because the average household here, they're spending 28.6% of their monthly income on shelter. Most places in America, it's 45 to 55%. So they have the wages. They have the means to pay more. And so these corporations are looking for a way in which they can get a yield on their money that will outpace inflation, which will give them pricing power to increase rents to get a fat return. And that's exactly what they're going to be doing. And so it's up to all of us. Look at the writing on the wall to kind of plan, find our way to make a lot and create a lot of value. You know, it might not be real estate for you, maybe it is. It might be, a different thing for you, but there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna ignore the noise and go out there and get all the money. And they're gonna protect themselves and their family. That house right there, right? Look at that. Sometimes you get a little house like that, then across the street, a beautiful home like that, right? If you can buy a house like that for, X, then and you could either sell it for Y, or you could just hold it, rent it out, live there. Like, you don't need to be a millionaire to do this. Like, you could be someone that, let's just say, makes, 60 grand a year, which is like low income today, 5 grand a month. You could go buy a house like that. Maybe you put 10% down, you put 15 grand down, 10 grand down. You buy a house like that, you're spending $1,200 a month, you're saving 2-3 grand a month. In 6 months you can go buy a rental property, right? You could rent that out, have another rental property. Maybe you do that 1 or 2 more times, and you go back to LA, go back to one of your big cities, and live for free and have assets that are gonna, provide for you. I mean, that's what it's all gonna come down to. It's a strategy game. Like the last 4 years, everything was around this conversation that we need to stop this wealth transfer. That was never a part of the real plan. The real plan is to increase the wealth transfer, and that's what's going on. Like, go to any retail center in America, go to any strip center, any type of like strip mall or mall. What you'll see, one business after the next going out of business, closing doors. Go to small businesses. What you'll see, maybe they won't show you, but if you look at the data, 43% of these small businesses missed last month's rent. So these stores, they have increased labor costs, increased insurance costs. You have more consumers shopping online, and the cost for everything is getting through the roof, right? So what does this mean for them? Well, it's gonna mean that they're gonna be closing down shop, right? And so everything is shifting and changing in society to where it's only gonna benefit the aspiring entrepreneur. Look at that house. Like, that's a quaint, nice house. All these homes are very, very nice homes. Anywhere else, people think, oh, those homes are $500,000. But not here. 35% of Americans now work remote. 35%. Use your imagination on what's happening with small business, what's happening with labor costs and cost of living, and what's going to happen next. more jobs are going to be outsourced, more offices are going to be closing down and reducing square footage, more is going to be leaned on with AI, with automations. All of that's going to be coming more and more and more to cut costs. And as that's happening, if you're a business owner, are you going to pay an American, 150 grand a year to live in a big city? Or are you going to go hire someone in Mumbai or, a different country to do it for 30 or 40%, who's grateful for the work? Like, grateful for the work. You're probably going to do that. Realistically, you probably will. We had a nanny in Florida in Delray Beach, and this nanny, we were paying like $4,400 a month, and she had the belief that she was doing us the favor, that that she should be paid $5,000, $6,000 a month. Like, she had a very easy situation. Like, it was like we really didn't have to do anything. But now we have a Spanish tutor here that teaches the kids Spanish. I have a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, and she travels 30 minutes to come here. She teaches them Spanish for an hour and a half for $30, and she is grateful for the job. The contractors that I use at singlefamilyinvestors.com, grateful for the work. Like, the people here, because of the low cost of living, they are much more grateful for opportunities, right? And these corporations are looking for that. Small businesses looking for that, looking for employees that are grateful, that can work for less and get more done in a shorter period of time. And that no longer is true for most cases in America. So I think we're going to see a major shift in employment in this country, and I think we're going to see wages continue to soften. The government's going to print their way out of this, $36 trillion debt crisis, and the ones that are really going to pay are going to be the middle class. The rich are going to use all the money they're making to buy more and more and more assets to grow their wealth, and this is essentially the way of combating inequality, right? The rich are going to be eating filet, they're going to be eating ribs. They're going to be eating lamb chops. They're not going to be eating, plant-based burgers. They're not going to be going to McDonald's looking for, the Impossible Burger. No. Like, they're going to get their stuff delivered directly from the farm, and they're going to live a great life. And so can everyone here, if they see the writing on the wall. Student loans, never going to happen. Stimulus checks in 2020, that was the beginning. They're still doing it now in 2026, 2027, 2028. It'll be way more. The money printing is going to get out of control the next few years. So if you own tons of these houses, and let's say the cost to build one of these homes is $150 a foot, it's 1,000 square feet hypothetically. That'd be 150 grand just to build it. If inflation gets worse and it goes to $300 a foot, and it costs 300 grand to build it, and the land's 50 or 60, it's 350, brand new. But if you bought it for 150, well, you do the numbers on that. You're buying it 50% off the cost to replace it. And so you're basically making a huge bet that inflation is going to get worse. The thing is, you just have to choose the right asset, the right area, have the right game plan. If you're thinking about investing in Section 8 property, you want to learn more about what I'm doing, hop on a call with me at singlefamilyinvestors.com. If you have a minimum of $100,000 that you are looking to invest in your own property to build up a secondary source of income, go to singlefamilyinvestors.com, click the link in the description just below. If you have bad credit, late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, you want to get out of a bad situation on your credit report, go to greatcreditfast.com, click the link in the description just below, and we'd love to help you. You get access to credit. You maybe buy your first house, buy a rental property, get a business loan. The next 3 years are going to be extremely important to build wealth. Don't let it go by. Take advantage of this big investing opportunity and pave a great future for yourself and your family. Catch you next video.